Welcome back to Community Matters. I'm Bill LeMay. Before the dream home is yours, there are some steps you got to take to make the purchase go a lot smoother. And Ryan's back with us to talk about that. Even if you may have purchased a home in the past or you're a first-time buyer, there's lots of things that you need to do before you even look at a house. Where do you start?
Absolutely, Bill, and that is a great question, and one that I wish buyers would pay more attention to before they start looking at homes for sale, because there's an educational process that needs to happen before you start considering buying a home. Are you financially ready? Are you ready for the maintenance that comes with home ownership, the property taxes, the homeowner's insurance, the utility bills? There's a lot that goes into being a homeowner that some people aren't ready for. So it really does begin with that education, and then you have to find out what you can afford.
I've been looking on Zillow though, Ryan. I want to buy this house. Let me ask you this. How do you know you can afford that house? Is that where you start first? Do you begin to look at houses? Do you go to a bank? Do you go to a mortgage company? What do you do?
That's a great question. And the next step after educating yourself is definitely speaking with a mortgage lender. You want to have a clear understanding of what you can afford before you start shopping homes for sale. Otherwise, you might get your hopes up for something that just isn't feasible.
Oh, there's nothing worse. There is nothing worse to be looking at all those beautiful homes only to find out, well, I can't afford it. Now, they're dealing with real estate agents, obviously, and a real estate agent is different than a buyer's agent, correct? And that's something that people should know as well. What are those differences?
Absolutely. So you have a buyer's agent and you have a listing agent. There's two parties representing a seller and a buyer. So you have the listing agent representing the seller and the buyer's agent representing the buyer.
When they go into a home and they're looking at these homes, what are some of the things they should consider? Because at some point, they're probably going to want to resell. So I'm sure there are some things maybe they haven't thought of that goes into getting their money back out of it with a little profit.
Absolutely, and I cannot stress location enough, because there's a million things you can change about a home. What's one thing that you can't?
I can't move it.
Can't move the home. The location is something you can't change. So you can add new rooms, you can add paint, you can landscape the front yard. So although the home, it may not be in the best condition, if it's something you can work with, then you can force equity right back into the home.
But when you say location, is it the neighborhoods, the part of town, next to a school, next to a police, across from a playground, you know what I mean?
Yep.
All of them. Huh?
It's a great question, because each buyer is different. So some people want, hey, I just want to be in Cary because I know the schools are great. Okay, well, let's talk about that. Where in Cary do you want to be? Or if they say, hey, I want to go to, let's say, the Martin Middle School district. I want a home in the Martin Middle School district inside Raleigh. So some buyers are different than others in what they want. Certainly, location is going to play a huge part in where your home goes in terms of appreciation.
Well, let me ask you this. I'm working with you. We found a home. I really like this house. Now we're going to make an offer. It wasn't all that long ago. You'd probably go in much lower than you would today. When you do consider an offer, what do you consider?
Absolutely, and that's a great question. So one of the first things that I'm going to do is I'm going to understand who else are you competing against in that price range. So if it's a home over $400,000, you have a lot more flexibility than you probably realize. And if it's a home under $400,000, get ready, because it's going to be a battle.
What do they need to do in regards to making sure the house is, the power works, the lights work? Is it important to get a home inspection? Do you get an appraisal beforehand? What do you do?
Absolutely. Home inspection is one of the very first steps after you go under contract. You don't want to go any further unless you are positive that home is safe, it's healthy environment for your family, and then next would be the appraisal.
Well, let me ask you about the sellers. Now, I've been on both sides of this, and I know that you can't just put a sign in the front yard. There is some prep that needs to be done. What do sellers need to do, even in a hot market?
Absolutely, and Bill, that's a great question. One of the very first things you need to do, and this should be so obvious to everyone, and it's not, is clean. Cleaning your home.
You mean a clean home sells a little quicker?
Believe it or not.
I'll be darned.
Believe it or not, a clean home can force, you can, if your home is dirty, it's going to sit on the market longer.
Yeah.
People are going to be less interested in buying your home because they're going to walk in and feel it's dirty.
Right.
I don't want to live here.
Yeah, it kind of
You know what I
reflects
mean?
on how well you've taken care of the home. Do you get an appraisal yourself as a seller? Is that a good idea, or is it a waste of money?
Well, you know what? That's a great idea. It depends on the situation. If you are a seller and you're unsure about your price point, let's say the realtor is saying, look, the data is saying your home is worth this much, and you want this much. If there's a pretty big gap, you may want to consider getting an appraisal, simply because you're going to have a buyer who's going to need a mortgage, most of the time, and they're going to be getting an appraisal. So you want to avoid that problem before it happens.
I suppose you can ask whatever you want for your house, but it's what the bank will give you, right?
It's exactly right.
Any other tips for sellers out there?
Sellers,
other than calling you?
Sellers, you guys have it good right now. Certainly, cleaning the home, painting it. If you do want to redo the flooring for any reason, that will force equity right back into your price. But certainly sellers have it good right now.
Oh man, I tell you what, if you're selling a home, got a smile on your face this morning. And buyers, you got a challenge. Thank you, Ryan. I appreciate it very much. We'll find out about another lending option for seniors. It's pretty cool. Stick around.